And we are following major developments tonight in the deadly road rage shooting that devastated a Westminster family.
A judge now is trying to determine whether there is enough evidence for the accused shooter to stand trial. Denver 7's Megan Lopez is in court today.
And Megan, tonight we finally know what may have led to this shooting.
That's right, Ann and Shannon. Megan Bigelow told detectives several months after that shooting, when she was finally interviewed by them, that she was trying to get over into the right lane because there was an emergency vehicle coming up right behind her. She was trying to get over. That's when she allegedly cut off Jeremy Webster. The two exchanged words through their driver's side windows, and then he followed her to a parking lot. The two got out of the car, argued some more, and that's when he allegedly opened fire. The Bigelow family was sitting in the courtroom as all of this was being described. 4 months after a deadly road rage incident in Westminster, a judge is now trying to determine whether there's enough evidence for the case to move to trial. On one side of the courtroom, a grieving Vaughn Bigelow Sr., his wife Megan, and their sons Vaughn Jr. and Asa were shot that fateful day, along with one other man. 13-year-old Vaughn Jr. did not survive. On the other side of the courtroom, Jeremy Webster, the man police say pulled the trigger. Responding officers and Westminster detectives described what unfolded that day. One of the first officers on the scene explained the chaos of June 14th, going into graphic detail about the injuries suffered by each of the 4 victims. Vaughn Sr. silently sobbed as officers described 7-year-old Asa's injuries. The officer thought Asa was dead when he first approached him, curled up in a fetal position not far from his mother and brother. Vaughn Sr. broke down once more when a witness statement described the death of his older son. The witness calling Vaughn Jr.'s death a, quote, execution, saying Webster stood over the boy as he was kneeling on the ground and shot him. We also learned about what happened immediately after that shooting. According to police, Jeremy Webster got back in his car, drove to Home Depot to buy a saw, and went back to remodeling a house before driving home. He was caught several hours later in Castle Rock. Meanwhile, the defense brought up Webster's mental history, saying he's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And this afternoon, all of us were kicked out of the courtroom today. It was sealed as the judge went ahead and watched the entire interrogation video for Jeremy Webster. It's more than 3 hours long, and in it, Jeremy Webster allegedly confesses to that shooting. Now, I just found out a couple of minutes ago that this court has gone into recess. They're not going to gather again until 2 p.m. on Tuesday. The judge is going to finish watching that video, and that's when we could find out whether or not there's enough evidence for this to actually move to trial. In Brighton, Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
And we'll stay on top of that. Thank you, Megan.